So what is outside all the time? OATT. It's a group that I put together featuring everyday folks that are, I'm not going to say over the hill or say getting old, anything like that. We're getting on in age, but we can still do a lot of stuff. We can still exercise. We can still stay in shape. We can definitely take care of our bodies. There's something I noticed with myself as I started aging. I keep working out. I keep doing what I'm supposed to, but now I like to make excuses. I want to say that my knees hurt, or maybe my back is sore, my neck is hurting, whatever the case. It doesn't matter. Everybody got some pain, but what we can do is keep moving forward, whatever that looks like. 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. And that's what some of y'all heard me talking about a few months ago. And that's really where it started. Excuse me. I had a surgery last year, hernia surgery, slowed me down quite a bit. And prior to that, prior to the surgery, it was slowing me down. And I was getting a little down in the dumps, having a little bit of a pity party because I wasn't able to exercise the way I was supposed to, can't lift anything. And I was getting frustrated. So I had my little pity party, and then I decided to start doing something about it. I started really dialing in on my health, meal prepping, exercising. Running was a big part of it, but the dieting and the discipline, I was able to lose 30 pounds. And while I was doing this, I was posting, and you guys were commenting and saying, hey, thank you for putting that up there. Thank you for sharing that. And that made me think that, well, if the few people I know, if this helps them in any type of way, then why not we just do a whole group? And that's where outside all the time came from. And if you know me, I'm outside. I'm fishing, I'm running, I'm doing something all the time. I like to eat. I like to take my meals outside when possible. It just makes me feel better. Good sunshine, and I don't mind the heat. The cold, that's a different story, but the heat, I can sit out there all day. So that, in a nutshell, is where OATT came from. And the end of December, I thought about how can I spread this out? How can I get this beyond the few people that follow me? And that's where the Outside All the Time initiative came from, in the group that's on Facebook. So with that group, the point of the group is to build a space for like-minded people to get together and share their journey, what they're going through. Right now, I think it's the last time I checked, they said they had 175 people that were part of the group. Now, if you follow the group, there's about 15 to 20 people who they steady post every day. And that's great. It's not meant for everybody to get on there all the time, because some people just don't do that. They're private. They don't like to post, but they'll read and they'll take advice from it. They'll take workouts from it. So it may not seem like it's a lot of people there, but it is, and it's helping people. And I appreciate everybody who posts, everybody who puts their workout on there every day. And I really appreciate the honesty I see. Hey, I didn't get to it today. Hey, didn't do it this morning. I'm going to do it this evening, because that's what it's all about. Nobody's perfect, and we're there to build each other up. So I really appreciate the participation so far. And that's the whole point of Outside All the Time. So when you see the Outside All the Time initiative, every month we're going to bring in a new initiative. The one for January was, let's start trying to knock out 500 miles for the year. All right. And it has to be, it was the way I looked at it was, let's do 500 miles and adjacent to what you do at work. All right. Some people, they're nurses, or they have a job where they walk around all the time. And I get it. You're probably putting 2 or 3 miles on your feet during the day. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to, after work, I'm going to take 15 minutes and do one more, or I'm going to do 2 more, and to try to get that goal to 500. So that's where that came from. It's a little bit of a discipline thing, because everybody works. Everybody has a lot of work to do, hard work. Maybe you're sitting all day. Maybe you're running around all day. But I don't think it's too much to ask to give yourself 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, either before work or after work, because you'll go to a job and you'll give that job 8 hours. You'll give it 10 hours like it ain't nothing, but you won't give yourself 20, 30 minutes of exercise. So that's where that came from, because I think 20, 30 minutes of exercise, walking, running, whatever you can do for yourself will help you greatly. So that's the first initiative, and we're going to have one for February as well. So that's where OATT came from, and that's the point of it in a nutshell, is to get everybody involved, to get everybody supporting each other, to get everybody exercising. And as it grows, we're going to look at doing events where hopefully we can go to the East Coast and we'll have an OATT 10K, or we'll go to Oklahoma, we'll hit the Midwest and we'll do a CrossFit workout, or we'll go visit somebody. I got a buddy up there. He's on the mat every other day. I got another buddy that's in Georgia. He's on the mat every other day. We have people who are doing CrossFit, people who are out still doing events. They post them. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but everybody's doing something different. And I think we can build a community around going out and doing these events, meeting each other, maybe once a year, maybe twice a year, but something. We're gonna figure it out. But I'm just excited that people are participating, and that's the way we're looking at going forward. Now, real quick about me. Some of y'all know me. Some of y'all have known me from high school, the military, from where I work at now. So I know quite a few people. And you know that for the most part, I just can't be still. I got to be doing something. All right. So I joined the military in 1997. Started off in air defense, and I was in El Paso for a number of years. Served in air defense for a while, and then I went on to be a Green Beret, and I served in Special Forces until I retired in 2019. After that, I started working in executive protection, firearms training, and that's how I met a lot of you. And it's been a good journey. And the way that I help people with firearms training, I want to do the same thing with health and fitness. Now, everybody know me. I'm no stud by no means, but I think everybody can use a little support. I think everybody needs a little cheerleading every now and then, and I think we can help each other. All right. So we're almost 15 minutes in. So if y'all got any questions about, I talked about why I started, but if y'all have any other questions about anything so far, go ahead. You can ask them now. I'm here for y'all. Let me see what we got down here in the comments. Get some sun in. Let me see. Logan Kowalski. Who's that? Oh, okay, that's Danny. All right, I got you, bud. All right. Thanks, Ryan. So if Team Trek Podcast, some of you may have seen the podcast on my channel as well. Team Trek Podcast is something I did. I was lucky enough to be invited by Ryan Reeves. He is the host and the curator of Team Trek Podcast. And on that podcast, we had a 3-hour-long conversation. Prior to this, I hadn't seen Ryan in years, since we both were in group out in Colorado. And that conversation was so therapeutic. It helped me so much. It gave me a chance to open up and talk about things that I hadn't talked about in years. And that's what has led me into starting the streaming, in the future, running episodes of the interviews that I'm doing, because I didn't realize how much having conversations with people and people just watching and listening, how much it would help them. I mean, everybody has a story, and nobody thinks that their own story is unique, but it may be unique to somebody else. So I think getting those stories out there, whether it's about your physical health and what I think more importantly about your mental health, I think is big. We're starting to see more and more people having to learn how to navigate the mental health. I mean, the trauma that comes with it. Being in the military, I was oblivious. I thought, hey, we the only ones got problems like this. Everybody has stress, but that stress is not like my stress. And then once I retired, I realized and I learned that everybody suffers in their own way. So going on Team Trek Podcast was big for me. And I hope to be able to do the same thing over here at OATT. All right, so it looks like we're going to be doing a workout up in Oklahoma. We'll figure something out. Have to negotiate if you say burpees. Oh, yeah, we can do some burpees. All right. All right. So we'll continue on. So when I think about working out as an I'm not gonna say old, as an older individual, I think about how can I work out and not get hurt. And some people may laugh, but that is a big part of it. If I'm hurt, I can't do anything. I've had a few surgeries here and there, and surgeries slow you down when you get to a certain age. So learning how to do correct movements, learning what works for me and how I can navigate different things without jacking myself up and not overdoing it so I can work out the next day. I think that's a big thing for those who have worked out for our whole lives. We always feel like we can do what we did when we was 25 years old. And that's just not the case. That's not the case. You may be able to do the workout, but how you recover is going to be way, way different. All right. So that's one thing I want to look at. So when we do certain workouts, and I'm asking you as members of OATT, post your workouts, post your recovery, talk about what kind of physical therapy you do and bring that to the table. That's going to help everybody. And that's, I think, once you get 40 plus, 45 plus, that's probably just as important, if not more important than the entire workout. Because if you don't have a good recovery plan, if you can't keep yourself going, then what's the point? You know, you work out 2 days and then you broke for 5. That's no bueno. All right. The biggest thing is consistency. Consistency. How we staying consistent over these years. When I served in the military, you would see a lot of the lieutenant colonels, the sergeant majors, and they're always older. Sometimes you would see a younger sergeant major or whatnot, but most of these guys were 40, 45 years old, or 45 plus in some cases. And a lot of them were still studs. They're still running around and they did great. And then you would see them 5 years after they retired. And you'd be like, what the hell happened? And they were consistent for 20 years, 30 years, and that drop off just, it kills a lot of them. You know, that and alcohol and everything else that comes along with it. But I don't think that we have learned how to be consistent through time as we age. And that's another thing I want to achieve with this group. Like I said, this group is for everybody. But most of the people on there are going to be a little bit older. So let's make sure we're sharing our ideas, bringing stuff to the table. Say, hey, I just got such and such done to my neck. It costs this amount. My insurance covered whatever. Y'all might want to check it out. That's what we want to see in the group. I would love to see that come up in the chat. So if y'all got some, I call them life hacks to recovery, to physical therapy, you know, anything, let me know. All right. Before we get off consistency, real quick, just somebody in the chat real quick, tell me what's your biggest hang up? What's your biggest problem with consistency? What hinders you the most? What throws you off track? What keeps you from being able to, you go steady for 3 weeks and then all of a sudden, boom, you're out of the game for like a month. Does anybody have any issues with that? Has that ever happened to somebody? Let's see, hit the nail on the head. Take it. Yeah, Danny, I think a lot of us waited a long time for the mental health piece. We waited for it to almost go bad before we did something about it. But I think that's getting better. You know, we can't, one thing I've learned talking with a few people that are already retired from the military or who are veterans who have served, one of the biggest things is just understanding that we got to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to police each other up. It's not the Army's job. It's not the police department's job if you retire from there. Wherever you come from, this is not their job. They can try and they'll come up with programs and they'll send you places, but ultimately it's not their job. That is not their job. The Army, it's a warfighting machine. That's its primary goal. Making sure your head is straight is part of it while you're there, while you're serving. But once you leave, we got to take care of each other. All right, let me see. What do we say in the chat? What we got there? Okay, traveling for work, out of state, hotel gyms just don't hit the same. Absolutely correct. One trick I found, and because with my job, I travel every week. So the first year I was doing it, I was having that problem. Excuse me. I had got a membership at Planet Fitness, and there's a Planet Fitness just about everywhere. But I was hitting some of these smaller locations, and I couldn't get in the gym sometimes. So a couple things I picked up: kettlebells. You can get a 30-pounder, anywhere from 30 pounds to 50-pound kettlebell. Keep one of those. Some dumbbells, bands, resistant bands. Hook them to the tow bar. You can do some rolls with the bumper of the vehicle. A lot of body weight exercises. Doing stuff like that, because I had to start doing it, because that frustration will make you go to that room and eat and go to bed, and you get lazy real quick. Let me see, somebody else said something. Okay, try for the ring dinger. Let me see, for neck and back injuries, a game changer. Way better than any other chiropractor. Is that ring that you roll your back on? I saw those on TV. So Josh, all right. So I appreciate that, Josh. Josh was saying that. I don't know if y'all have seen it. So it looks like it's a ring. I think this is what he's talking about. It's about this tall. You roll over it on your back, and it helps with the spine, your neck. I'm gonna have to get those to try. I didn't look at it. I haven't gotten one of those yet, but I'm gonna check it out now. Thanks for that, Josh. Let's see. What's up, sis? All right, consistency is key. I struggle with this, but community helps. My hang up is resisting the urge to totally unplug after work. So I think that's a big one too. I think a lot of us, we don't realize how much stress that we have at work. Whether you're sitting down or whether you're slinging a hammer or whatever, I don't think we understand like what it does to us when the body has been awake and at a constant level for, we'll say, from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening. That's 12 solid hours of stimulation, whether it be positive, negative, and there's no recovery during that time. It gives you a real bad drop off after work, even for myself. So what I do now full time is I'm an instructor, and most of the time the class doesn't start till 8. We finish around 4. But from the time I get in that building to the time I leave, I'm on the stage. I'm on the podium, so to speak, and I'm talking and I'm discussing things. So one thing I do, and this, it may not be the healthiest, but it may help some of y'all. If you have a job where you have to speak or project, be in front of people and be turned on all day long, I take about 20 minutes when I get out of my car and I'm doom scrolling. I don't even know what I'm looking at half the time, but no music, no sound. I'm just flipping through images and stuff. And then on some days, I'll sit there and do some breathing exercises. But I was doing the breathing exercises in the car one time. Somebody knocked on the window. They didn't know what was going on. So I don't do that out in public anymore. But definitely take some time for yourself. No phone calls, no music, no nothing. Just kind of sit there and let yourself decompress. Because I think when I do that, and I eat a little something, now I'm ready to work out. Now I'm ready for the second half of my day, which is taking care of me. I've gave this job 10, 12 hours. Now I took a quick break. Now it's time for me to get myself back together. All right, let's see. Just nice. 53. Going bone on bone. You have to switch around sometimes in the workouts. Yoga, running, core bag, surgery threw me off. They're pushing me. All right, so 53 years old, bone on bone. That almost sounds like you was in the military. When you talk about dealing with injuries, that's one of the things you have to pay attention to a lot. I'm lucky. My knees get sore, but I don't think I have any bone on bone stuff going on. And that's one thing about the group. I hope that comes out a little bit more. People start voicing what injuries they're having, not so much as complaining about them, but letting people know this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I have. This is how I'm trying to fix it. And then hopefully somebody can chime in like Josh did, get some remedies for it. All right. Let me see. Surgery threw me off. Yep. Surgeries will throw you off bad. Those are, as we get older, the first surgery I had, I bounced back in 3.5 months. Shoulder surgery. I was in jump master school 3 months later. No big deal. The next one was my Achilles. Still dealing with that one. The hernia surgery last August. Still feel it every time I try to do a core exercise. So surgeries will definitely slow you down. Chiropractor. I've never gone. Okay, how do I feel about going to a chiropractor? I've been to chiropractors, and for me, they hit a miss. When I was lifting heavy, my body was tuned up so tight that it was hard. I was relaxed, but they just insisted that I wasn't relaxed. And a lot of the stuff they wanted to do for me, they couldn't do. Now when I go, I've gone since I retired, and my muscle definition is not the same. I'm not as taut as I used to be, so it does work, especially with the hips. So if you haven't tried it before, give it a try. The chiropractors, definitely, you get a good, strong person who know exactly how to hit those points. It helps a lot. Don't be scared of it. Let me see. Okay, good point. Let's see, my knee reflex went from a solid 1.5 delay instantaneous immediately after that. I'm gonna try this ring, and that's the name of it, the ring dinger. Chiropractic adjustment. I'm about to give this a try. That's an old teammate comment, so I believe him. I know he wouldn't steer me wrong. All right, so I'm gonna hop back on this list real quick because I had a couple more things I want to talk to y'all about. All right, so with OATT, what I've talked about the intent of it and what it's for, but real quick, I want to talk about what it's not. It's not a place to beat up on each other. We don't want to see that. Competition, we welcome it. Healthy competition. For instance, I don't compete with anybody when I run publicly, but I have my own little battles in my head. I see people post something, I'm like, I know him, and he's my age. If he can do it, I can do it too. That's how I compete. Almost competing with myself to do with somebody in my age group or somebody who's older than me than what they can do. So that's how I look at competition. But we're not here to, OATT is not here to beat up on anybody, to bad mouth anybody, to try to discourage anybody. But I do recognize and realize that everybody can't do the same thing. We have some members who are runners. Anybody who know me during my military time know I hate running. I hated it. I enjoy it now because I really can't do anything else. I'm broken, beat up a little bit, so can't really do too much lifting like I used to, because that used to be my thing. I used to throw some weight around. So now I like to run, but I'm not going to discourage anybody who want to bench press every day. If that's what you want to do, hey, as long as you're doing it, you're giving everybody else some good techniques, I'm all about it. We have people who have workouts on here that are hard. One of my good friends, Chris Wright, if you follow him on Facebook, you'll see that he put some pretty steady workouts on there. I mean, they're solid. I can't finish them. I just can't. Bad shoulders and whatnot. And Chris is a strong dude. He's a younger dude. He's a stud. But I see a lot of people kind of shy away from them workouts. Try his workouts. Try them. If you can only do 2 things that he writes out, you're going to benefit from it. But looking at it and saying that, hey, I can't do that, take some of the weight off. And I'm sure some of the stuff, because some of y'all have asked me about his workouts, send him a message. He's a great dude. He'll be more than happy to explain to you what he's doing and what he's talking about. All right. Let's see. And that's how I want the group to be. I want it to look that way. I want it to be solid. I want us to share ideas, and I want everybody to help each other. All right. So let's talk about real quick. Let me see if I got any. Real quick. Where's OATT going in the future? This is, in my dreams, this is what I see for outside all the time. Once a quarter, we're hosting events in different regions in the country. We have our Southeast, we have our Midwest, we have our South Texas, we have our West Coast, and whatever is the feature in that region, I would like to do. I would like to do those things. I've never done, I think it's called High Rocks event. I'll be willing to try one of those. If somebody has one of those in the region, they're like, hey, we have one coming up in 2 months. Do you want to do it? Well, yeah, let's host a whole deal on it. Let's get some people up there. Let's get a team and let's make it happen. If somebody's doing a half marathon or a 10K or a 6K, hey, let us know. Everybody needs some chili, they need some rooting, and you never know who's in your area. Maybe somebody could come do it with you or come participate with you. I would like to see us meeting up, participating at least 2 to 4 times a year. And the events that I would like to put on are events that include physical health events and mental health events. In my perfect world, we go out, we have an event that morning, whether it's a run, walk, crawl, followed by some lessons from somebody who's schooled in mental health practices. And after that session, maybe we do some group yoga in the evening. And then we break bread, camp somewhere, then call it good, and everybody roll out the next day. That's what I would like to see. I think bringing this community together of people who are like-minded in their health, it'll be great. Because 2 things that I've learned since I retired that motivate me and keep me going. That's community and purpose. All right. I left that. As soon as I left the military, that was taken from me, and I didn't even realize it until a little bit later on. Community and purpose. Was the 2 things that beyond the Army and the job, my community was my team, my family. My purpose was making sure that we all was okay. That was the purpose. And that carries on right now. All right. Let's see. Anybody got any ideas about these events or any questions, anything? If you don't want to voice it here, don't hesitate to DM me, send me a message, say, hey, we got this going on. I think it'd be pretty cool if we do it. All right. All right. So, any questions y'all got? Anything? I got this thing set for an hour, but hey, what y'all got? Let's go back up here. Change a second. All right. So we'll talk about a couple more things and we'll wrap it up. All right. So I want to share some things with y'all that help me throughout the day when it helps me get started. Helps me carry on through the day, and it helps me close out my evening. So one thing I was doing last year on my weight loss journey, and it helped me set my tone for the day really, really good. I would get up in the morning, and some of y'all have probably seen them. It looks sort of like a journal, but it's called a gratitude book. And I found that when I practice and I make sure that the first thing I do before I start complaining about anything in the day, I make sure that I recognize that I should be grateful. I should be grateful for waking up. I should be grateful for the ability to be able to move and exercise. So I make that the first thing I do. Write down 3 things I'm grateful for. And once I do that, it kind of takes the heat out of the morning, right? Because now I'm practicing gratitude instead of complaining. All right. And I get my day going. Throughout the day, I have a check down list. And if you know me for a while, you know that I used to have a pretty bad temper. And I'll go from 0 to 100 real quick. And it got better as I got older. But one thing I adopted, one practice that I do now is when I look at stuff, I have a three-tier check down list, so to speak. Before I lose my mind and go just go off the Richter scale about some 3 things I ask myself. Just right off the bat, is my family okay? Now, wherever I'm at, whatever I'm doing, they're not with me at that time, but that's the first thing my brain go to. Is my family okay? Okay, they're good. Am I okay? Am I in imminent danger? Am I about to lose my life right now? No. Is the money okay? Bills paid, and what I mean by money, I'm by no means rich, but nobody's about to get put out on the street. Nobody's about to lose a house or a car or anything like that. Then it's okay. Then, I mean, we're alive. Everybody's eating. We got food. We got shelter. What is there really to be upset about? Once I started doing that, my day just kind of, whatever tuned me up, that tuned me right on down. And it carries throughout the day. It makes me a happier person, makes me a better person. So by the end of the day, I'm not, other than the work I do, you get a little stressed sometimes. That keeps me level. So in the evening time, I can do those workouts. I'm still motivated. I'm still pumped up. I'm not so mentally drugged through the mud that I don't feel like doing anything. So I hope those little tips can help you. I believe in, if you practice that gratitude, you start that day with it. And even at night, if you practice gratitude before you go to sleep, I think it'll help you out a lot if you're struggling with it. All right. Let's see what we're saying. Fort Sill. All right, we got an event. Fort Sill hosts a 5K all the time. Plus, we got the Wildlife Refuge with Mount Scott. I tell you what, Danny, I got some more classes up there this year. I think I'll be back up there around May time frame. We definitely got to hit on one of these events. Got to do something. We got to get on one of those. All right. So I really don't have too much else. I just wanted to get on here, introduce OATT, talk about where it came from, what it's for, who it's for, and where we plan on going with it in the future. And I wanted to answer any questions that y'all might have had out there. If anybody don't have anything, then we'll wrap this up in the next few minutes. Let me see. Oh shit. What's up, Chris? Team Daddy just hopped on here. So, real quick, I got a couple of my brothers in this chat, and we go back quite a bit, and we all chat from time to time. And I've told them, and I'll tell everybody else here, that community and purpose, having people in your circle, whether you see them every day or whether you see them once every 5 years, if you stay connected with people, your community will stay tight. Community doesn't mean everybody right here in front of you. It just means that you got them in your life, however that looks, whether it's sometimes or whether it's every day. And I appreciate them every time I can get to see them, anytime I can get to talk to them. I always feel like we don't talk enough, and we definitely don't see each other enough. Hopefully that'll change in the future, but make sure you get you a good circle of people and you stay in touch with them. I'm bad about that. I don't feel like I call people enough. I'll message, but in the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. After 7:30, I don't want to talk to anybody. Phone is on do not disturb. I'm getting a snack, and I want to be done for the day. And that's not always the right answer, because some people, that's when they want to talk late in the evening. But I'm working on that. But those two guys in the chat, I appreciate y'all. Miss y'all. Let me see. You were saying last time I saw you, we were both hitting hard to get back in shape. Yeah, you keep me going too. See, that's the thing. When you have people in your circle you see them out there working hard, it makes you want to work hard too. That's the whole purpose of this group. That is why I want this to get bigger. I want it to get better, and I want more people to be a part of it. I think one thing that I didn't realize until I retired was the amount of civilians, whether they were law enforcement, first responders, whoever, how they're purpose driven as well. And that community is strong. And I really believe that the right individuals, regardless of that that background. When you get together, you make it, you lift everybody up, you make everybody else stronger. So I'm looking forward to seeing how many different professions we can have in this group, how many different backgrounds, how many different practices in exercise, martial arts, all the different disciplines we can get going into this group and flesh it out and make it something great. See, I've been retired. All right, so Danny said he's been retired for a year now. Yeah, the retirement is tough. It is a drop off. I don't care how many people prep you for it, how many classes you take, all the books you read, all the seminars you go to. When you realize that that part of your life is over, it's tough, you know. And again, I don't think it's the organization's job. They can help. They can help with the transition. They can definitely help with it. But I think sometimes we play the blame game too much on the organization. Remember, like I said before, the Army's job is to fight wars. Your mental health, your well-being while you're active duty, yes, absolutely. Once you start to go somewhere else, not so much. And from what I've learned from working with law enforcement, it seems to be the same way. So Danny, I'll tell you, you a year out, it's still gonna be tough. I've been retired since 2019, and last year was the first time I think I called myself a civilian. Well, I felt like I'm a civilian. You know, I really actually feel like that now. I used to be in the Army. You know, I still feel like I could be a good Green Beret, but them days are behind me now. So the time now is to be focused on the future and what I can do to get better at whatever I'm gonna do next. You know. All right. I'm gonna give y'all a couple minutes. If nobody has anything else, then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I don't want to be up here just sitting up here killing time and wasting y'all time. Cause we know that's the highest currency, right? Time. You don't want to waste anybody's time. What's up, Unc? Appreciate it. I thank you. All right. Let's see. All right. So if nobody has anything else, and if you do, I apologize for cutting it off early, but I'm going to sign off. I appreciate y'all coming on here and listening to me rattle on, talk about OATT and a little bit about me. I plan on doing these once a month. We'll get down and we'll talk about what we did, what we plan on doing, and what we hopefully got coming out of the pipeline. Let's see. Oh, we do have a couple questions. Any future plans for mental health initiatives, making sure we put in the work daily for our mental health. Yes. So a couple things with the mental health. There's a couple of things I listen to. I want to build a link on the group page where people can go and check it out, because sometimes people are private about that stuff. The same way, I don't know if y'all have seen it, I've plugged a couple files for some of the workouts that people do. I want to do the same thing for mental health. There's some advocates out there who have hotlines that you can call, but there's also just a lot of practices, stuff you can do on your own. So in the future, I plan on building a link, and eventually, when I get the time, I want to branch OATT off and have its own website. So all these tools will be available to help people, and it'll be veteran based, but it'll be for everybody. Let me see. Are we seeing OATT podcasts in the future? Definitely. We definitely gonna have some podcasts. So I'll tell you right now, I got 4 episodes that I've already done. The editing is killing me. One of them, I got part 1 complete, and this month I'll be able to put that one out. But learning how to set this up, the streaming, and then this is something I didn't want to do. I didn't want to have like a studio room, but I got one. So at some point, when somebody's in my area, I plan on hosting, episodes here in my space. But right now, what I like to do, and I got some ideas for you, Danny. I like to travel. When I'm teaching my classes, I travel and I meet people where they are. I do the interviews in their backyard, outside. We sit in the living room, grandkids and everything rolling around, and we chop it up. We just have a conversation. And at some point, we do get into talking about mental health and whatnot. And that's the goal, to have conversations that benefit everybody. Not to sit there and tell war stories, because war stories are cool and there's a time and place for that. But I think more than that is to make sure we're having conversations that benefit everybody, especially in the mental health sector. So you definitely going to see some more episodes. And my goal is to make sure I'm interviewing the people I find interesting to me, which is a lot of my family and friends. All right. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you, brother. Appreciate that. All right, y'all. Again, thank y'all for coming on here and checking this out. Maybe I'll be more frequent with it, but for right now, this is the first, I hope, of many. Once a month touch up for OATT, talking about what we got going on here. And I'll be putting out, I'll put out alerts and whatnot to let you know whenever I get ready to drop those episodes. Right now, I got 4. They're pretty interesting. I think they are anyway, the people I'm talking to. And hopefully they'll help y'all. And GB's clear right there. Oh, I'm definitely doing that. So talking to other GBs and getting on some different podcasts. Got something in the pipe. Got something planned out. Making a trip out to Fort Bragg this summer. All right. So again, thank y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. And if y'all have any questions or anything, if y'all got any recommendations about this is my first time doing this, creating a space. I think it came out okay, but some of y'all have done this before. If y'all got some advice, some tips, I'm always open to advice, especially about this lighting and this camera work. Y'all just let me know. So again, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully I see y'all in the OATT group on Facebook. Hopefully it can help y'all, and I look forward to seeing y'all's journey and the progress with y'all workouts. All right. So with that, everybody have a good night. Thank y'all.